Hi everyone, welcome back to the Deep Agents learning series. So in the previous videos we covered the fundamentals of deep agents. We learned what deep agents are, how to build them, the different backend providers they support, and how memory works. We also explored how persistent memory and reusable skills make agents more capable over time. Now comes the most exciting part, a question that almost everyone asks after learning these concepts, and that is how do we connect all these pieces together to build a real world agentic application. That is exactly what we are going to do in this video. We will build a complete multi-agent AI application, and that is from scratch using everything we have learned so far. For this project, we will create an intelligent AI travel planner. I named it TripMind, that can generate a personalized trip plan based on the information you provide. And why I'm calling it a multi-agent application? Because instead of having one large agent do everything, we will design multiple specialized agent where each agent is responsible for a specific task, and together maybe they collaborate to produce a much better result than a single agent could. By the end of this video, you will understand how to design agentic workflow, coordinate multiple agents, share memory between them, and build a practical AI application that you can extend for your own project. Before we jump into the implementation, let's first understand what we are going to build. So the application we are building is an AI-powered travel planner and built using multiple specialized agent, as I mentioned earlier. And instead of relying on a single LLM that do everything, we will divide the work among several agents. You can see here we have multiple agents for flight, for hotels, for weather, for day-by-day itinerary and packing. These agents have well-defined responsibility. This makes the system easier to maintain, easier to extend, I'll say, and it produce much better result. Okay, so here is the high-level workflow. So before I don't want to jump on the code directly, let's understand what we are building. First, understand the workflow so that it would be easier to understand all the code. So the user start by providing a prompt and with the details like destination, travel date, number of travelers, budget, and any preference. For example, create a luxury trip or budget trips, these kinds of extra information. So the request is first received by a supervisor agent, the main agent. Think this as a project manager of our application. So it doesn't perform every task itself. Instead, it decides which agent should handle which part of the problem and coordinate the entire workflow. The first agent is the planning agent. So the responsibility of this agent is to understand requirements and create an initial travel plan. It estimates how the budget should be distributed across flight, hotel, food, transportation, and activities. It also decides the appropriate hotel category based on the available budget. Once the planning is complete, the supervisor again invokes the flight agent. So the flight agents first identify the correct airport for the source and destination cities, and then search for the best flight option. So and also it search for all the possible airport. So for example, in one city there can be multiple airports. So it first search for all the airports present in the city, and then it plan the best route or best possible flight. Once that is done, planning agents completes, supervisor invokes the flight agent. So the next part is hotel agent. Now the supervisor is going to run hotel agent and weather agent parallelly. So the hotel agent searches the hotel that match the allocated budget and user preference, and the weather agent retrieves the weather forecast for the travel dates. This helps you person to plan accordingly, and this is very useful information, I'll say later. When we plan the itineraries and packing recommendation, we are going to use this information from weather agent. After all the information is collected, the supervisors calls the itinerary agents. These agents combines everything we have gathered, the flight, hotels, weather, budget, and user preference to generate a detailed day-by-day itineraries. It also creates a smart packing list that customizes to the destination and expected weather condition that is coming from our weather agent. And finally, the supervisor collects the output from all these agents and return a single structure response, and our application can easily render that beautiful travel plan. So I have created a simple UI as well. So, but mostly all the data will come as in a JSON format. If you want, you can create API. For demo purpose, I have created UI. So one thing that I really like about this architecture is that every agent is completely independent. If tomorrow you want to replace the flight agent with another provider, or a new visa agent, currency exchange agent, or restaurant recommendation agent, you can do it without affecting the rest of the system. And this modular design is one of the biggest advantage, I'll say, the building application using multiple AI agents. So hope now you understand the overall architecture. Let's start building it by step by step. Okay, so first let's try to understand what are the tools I'm using. So these are the packages that I'm currently using. So first is Streamlit. Streamlit, we are going to use it for UI purpose. I'm creating a very simple chat UI. So that's why I'm using Streamlit. Some deep agents related packages, deep agents, OpenAI, LangGraph, LangChain. Okay. Tavily I'm using for Google search. We will be doing some Google search as well to find the airport codes. So we have Tavily. I'm using Fast Flight. So Fast Flight is Fast Flight is a package that can give you flight related information. So this is I'm using for educational purpose. If you have a commercial use some commercial API, for example, Tavily, Serper, Search API, and Fast Flight API doesn't give you a very stable result, I'll say. Then we have UI and Markdown related packages and some utility packages. So these are the tools that we are currently going to use. One more tool that is not present here, I think, that is Fast Hotel. That is also we are using. I need to add that. Let me add it here. Okay, so next is let's try to understand the skills and memory. So what are the skills we have? So we have two skills already written. One is for packing related skill, one is itinerary skills. So if you see packing related skills, again, if you see the structure, so structure is name. On top of it we have name and the description what this skills is going to do, and then we have the body, that how we are going to use these skills, or what is how. So here you can see what are the rules, formatting related information, what are the, while doing packing, what are the things we need to consider. So this is one skill I have created. Another skill is for planning day by day activity. So again we have here skills name and its description, and then how we are going to do, or how we are going to plan our day-to-day activity. So we have written all the detailed information here, like start after flight arrival, airport to hotel, transfer time, everything it is going to consider. So I have added the body, and body tells how to do the task. So it is going to create our day by day activity. So I think skills. Okay, so now next thing is memory. So if you see the memory folder, I have created agents.md, and in this memory I have added some context. I have added user profiles, default airport, home city, country preference, currency, everything I have added here. uh, Based on the conversation, agent can update this memory. If you're passing this memory to your agent can update it, and when agent starts, it is going to load this memory as well. Okay, so I have added all the information, budget preference, previous trips, okay, activity preference, everything is here. And it depends upon you what are the things you are planning to keep in the memory. Any agent is going to create one memory based on your conversation. Let's say I'm saying that, okay, no, I'm not living in Mumbai and now I have shifted to Pune. Agent is going to update these two lines automatically. Okay, so these are the skills and memory. One important thing I'll like to share before I jump on the agent's code. So I'll so these are tools I have already created. So if you see, uh, I have weather related tools. Okay, so weather related tools, important part is this one, get weather forecast. Okay, so this is the tools, and we have destination, start date and end date. And whenever you are creating tools, make sure you provide a proper documentation, because using this documentation, agent is going to understand what this tool is going to do and how to invoke this tool. Okay, so it takes three parameter: destination, start date and end date. And if you see, we have some helper function like what is the geocode for this. And if you see, here I'm using open method API, and using that I'm extracting the weather forecast for the travel date. Likewise, we have hotels. For hotels also I have a tool called search hotels. So search hotel again take these parameters. Okay, here I have added the proper documentation for this tool, doc string. And if you see, I'm using fast hotel. Here I'm using fast hotels. So using fast hotels, here it is doing fast hotel search. Okay, so I have added the filter, and this filter is going to be used in search here. Okay, so I have added all the details like check-in date, check-out date, locations, number of guests, what are the different guests like adult, children, infants, room type. Okay, based on these filters, fast hotel is going to do a Google search and it is going to give you a result. Again, I'm saying this is just for educational purpose. If you are going to use this search in your production application or commercial application, use some commercial API like Serper, search API or Tavily. So this is for hotel. Similarly, I have created for flight as well. I have added flight search. Okay, so again I'm using fast flight API, and I have added all the documentation here. Here I'm creating flight search filter, and I'm using flight search here to get the latest flight. Flight search API is not very reliable. Sometimes it gives you it will filter out some flights. So for production, use some commercial API like Google API. So if you see this tool, it has all these parameters, and these parameters will be automatically generated by LLM, our agent, and our agent is going to call these all these tools with the right parameter automatically. Okay, so for search flight, one thing is here the origin and destination should be airport code. So I have created another tool as well here. If you see, get airport code, it takes city as a parameter, and using this parameter it is going to execute a Google search. And for Google search, here I'm using Tavily, and I've given one query, all airport codes for this city. Okay, so it is going to return all the airport codes. For example, if I'm traveling to Pune, so Pune has only one code, one airport, so it will return only one code. But for example, someone is saying that plan my trip for Goa, so Goa has two airports. So agent should know that what are the airports available in the Goa, and then it will do the flight search for both the airport, and then it is going to select the best flights for outbound and return. So that's why I have added this get airport code, and this tool is also being used by agents directly. So these are the tools. Okay, so we have seen all the available tools, we have seen skills, we have seen memory. Now let's go to agent. Okay, so in agent we are going to define multiple sub agents. We will have one main agent, supervisor agent we can say, and then we are going to have multiple sub agents. So first sub agent is our planning sub agent. So when user is going to ask some query, planning sub agent is going to uh, create a basic plan. Like, so if you can see, this is how we create agents. We have name, agent's name, then we have description of agent, and then we have system prompt, and then tools. So planning agent is right now not using any tools. If you see the system prompt, we have all the detailed instruction like how to plan. So what are the things it needs to create: trip, budget, hotel category, search requirements, planning notes. So search requirements can be, let's say user is saying that okay, create a luxury trip, or any extra information that user is providing, it will come to search requirement. Some planning notes that agents want to add some information, so it can add here. Okay, so it is going to create this structure. I am saying that always create this JSON structure. Now once planning agent is done, now we have flight agent. So planning agent we have already created. Now we have flight sub agents. So again we have same structure, name, description, and system prompt. Now in system prompt, what I am saying that first get the airport code. So let's say someone is saying that okay, create a 4-day plan for Goa. So it is going to first call this tool. So you can see I have added tools here. You have already seen get airport codes is already part of this here, get airport code. Okay, so it is going to call this get airport code. Then it is going to take all the code, and then it is going to use this search flight fast function, which is going to give us the all the flights, and based on the flight information, then it is going to plan the right or it is going to select the best flight for inbound and outbound. It is also here you can see the instruction that if a city doesn't have airport, always find the nearest airport. So if you are traveling to, for example, some remote location, so in that case, if there is no airport, it is going to select the nearest city, and then based on the nearest city, it is going to give you the flight details. It can also plan for multi-city. Okay, so if you are traveling to 2-3 cities, it is also going to plan like what is going to be your destination and what is going to be your returns origin. So it can also plan multi-city. So this is for flight sub-agent, and it is taking two tools: airport codes and search flight. Okay, so next agent is hotel sub-agent. So again, it will follow the same structure. It is going to call this search hotels, the tools that we have already seen. It has description, and we have this system prompt that is going to tell how to use this tool and what are the parameter we are going to pass this tool, and what to do with the output result. Again, next is weather agent. So it is going to call this get weather forecast tools that we have already seen, and structure is same: name, description, and system prompt. Okay, last one is our itinerary planning agents. So we have the description and the system prompt, and it is not going to use any tools. It is going to use our skills. So skills we have already seen. What are the skills? We have two skills for itinerary and packing. So packing is going to be used at here, and it is going to be itinerary skills is going to be used by itinerary agents. Okay, and it is also going to use packing. So it depends upon how agent is planning everything. So we have all the sub agents ready. Now we have this detailed system prompt for our supervisor agents. So you can see it has all the detailed instruction. I'm also telling how to format the output. Okay, so this formatted output we are going to use on UI. I'm giving all the complete details about the architecture, what are the agents we have. We have this memory related information, that how to load memory, how to load memory, and what to do when user is updating anything. So this memory part, I have noticed that ideally this should be done automatically, but sometimes LLM is not respecting the behavior. So I've added this prompt explicitly. Otherwise, if someone is updating any preference or anything, agent should automatically do that. I have added some instruction about information gathering, like what are the required information for planning a trip and how to get it from users. Okay, and execution flow. So you can see first call planning agents, then flight agents based on flight information, and the remaining budgets call hotel and weather agents, and then we are going to collect all the information here. I'm also telling to replan if something is wrong, or trip is going beyond the budget, we can do a replanning. Okay, some information related or instruction related to follow-ups, memory update, everything. Now here I'm saying how to produce the output. Okay, so this is the schema that I'm asking our agent to produce. And why I'm asking this to in a structure format, because it becomes easier for us to display it on the UI. If you are creating API, then you can define your API contract here. Okay, so I have a detailed system prompt here for our supervisor agent. Now here I am creating our main agent, that is supervisor agent. So here I am using in-memory store. Okay, and if you can see, I'm using the model right now. I'm using OpenAI, and our system prompt tools. So this agent is not going to use any tool. All the tools will be used by our sub agents. So that's why we don't have any tools here. I have defined the sub agents. So what are the sub agents? So all the sub agents we have already defined above. So planning sub agents, flight sub agents, hotel sub agents, weather sub agents, and itinerary sub agents. Then we have defined our memory and skills. So memory is present here and skills is here. So that's why I've added the relative path here. Okay, so I've added checkpointers here. I'm using in-memory saver, and file system backend I have added and I have given the root dir and virtual mode which is true, and using this. Okay, hold on. So you can see here I'm defining the root dir and OpenAI model I have defined on the top. So using this root dir, it is going to search this memory and skills. So this is our supervisor agent. Okay, I have created some helper function. Let me collapse it, and I have this chat dot invoke. So whatever chat we are going to or whatever the user is going to ask the query, it is going to invoke this function chat invoke. And here you can see I am using agent dot invoke based on the message that is coming as a parameter here, and whatever message it is or message agent is generating, then we are going to return it in a JSON format. Now this is the complete architecture about the agent that we have. Now how we are going to display it on UI? So for that I have created one app.py. I have added some basic UI. So I'm not a UI expert. I have generated this UI using ChatGPT. So it has all the HTML code, okay, sidebar, markdown, everything. Important part is here, and we are using Streamlit for this. So here you can see we have some helper function to render the data that is coming from agent, and how we are going to call the agent. Okay, so again we are using this chat.invoke that I have already seen in the agent.py here. Chat.invoke that is going to trigger our agent here. Here it is triggering the agent with the message. So we are going to use this trigger function here, chat.invoke, and with the prompt that user is passing. So this is the whole architecture. User is going to call the agent using Streamlit UI. Streamlit UI is going to call chat.invoke with the prompt that user is sending, and then whatever data is coming, we are going to render it here. Okay, so let's try to load the UI first now. Okay, so okay, let's try to run this Streamlit. Okay, I think we have. Okay, so if I'm running this one, it is going to load the UI. So okay, so here is our agent UI. Let me ask some question. Let's say plan a trip for Goa. Okay, I have done some typo, but it has but agent has understood it. Okay, so travel date maybe 1st August 2026 to 8th August 2026. My budget is 80k. So agent has taken all the information. Now it is searching for flights, hotels, all the weather, itineraries, and planning information. So let's wait. Okay, so we have now response from agent. So agent has given like trip overview 1st of August to, okay, so travelers to Goa, budget 80k. So if you see, it has given flight information as well. Okay, flight number and pricing as well. Total is around 16,000, sorry. And we have this hotel as well. Agent has suggested some good hotels as well. Flight now weather related information, not sure how accurate this part is, but we can improve, we can check it later. But it has given weather forecast as well. Okay, now we have budget breakdown. So flight has all the budget related breakdown is here. Okay, now it has day by day plan as well, like from day 1 to day 8. Okay, it has created the day or day level plan, and packing list as well, rain gear, because it is saying that heavy rainfall, so it has suggested based on that packing list as well. Okay, and some extra information here. Okay, now you can ask some follow-up as well. Let's say can you compare it with Kerala trip, same dates and budget. So here I'm using Streamlit UI. You can use any UI. You can create API and you can create your custom UI. Okay, so it has compared it as well. Okay, so it has given the flight information. Okay, here it has automatically, I think it has taken Kochi. Okay, so Bombay to Kochi flight, hotels, weather related information. Okay, budget. Okay, now if I am saying okay, some extra information here as well. Okay, if I'm saying that give me day to day activity details for Kerala. So now I'm asking about the detailed information about flights and itineraries and packing if possible. Yeah, it has given packing related information as well. Okay, so now you can see Kerala, Kochi, Alleppey, Munnar. It has picked automatically these three popular location. It has given us the flight information. Okay, some hotel related information as well. Now it has given the complete itineraries like how to plan and clothing related information, some packing related information here. Okay, and some extra information some here as well. Okay, so it is also asking one to swap any dates focusing or make it relax single city plan. Okay, so you can do that as well, you can ask follow-up as well. Okay, so all these information are coming from agents directly, and how it is doing for each task we have separate agents, multi separate sub agents, and these sub agents are running independently and giving all the information, and then we have a planner supervisor agent or main agent that is combining all those information, and it is generating this response. Okay, and that's it, we have successfully built a complete multi-agent AI traveler planner using deep agents. So in this project we didn't just create a chatbot, we designed a system where multiple specialized agents collaborate to solve a complex real world problem. We saw how a supervisor agent coordinates the workflow, how individual agents handle specific tasks like planning, flight search, hotel search, weather forecasting, and itinerary generation, and how they all work together to produce a single intelligent response. So the best part of this architecture is highly modular. You can easily add a new agent, replace existing one, or integrate additional tools without redesigning the entire application. So this is the real power of agentic application. I encourage you to experiment with this project. Try adding new agents such as visa agents, restaurant recommendation agent, maybe local event agent, currency exchange agent, and even a budget optimizer agent as well. The more you extend it, the better you will understand how multi-agent systems are designed in production. So if you found this video helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.